right, so it's Tuesday, May 7th. Just a little bit after 7. Getting a little started on late on my stream. Amma, good morning. All right, so interesting day today. Interesting day. I'm a little bit caught up and thrown off at the moment. I didn't take the opening trade today. I skipped it. Talk about that in a second. I had literally gone through and picked out 4 charts that were all looking good and walked away, and just came back as I was starting to stream, realized that all 4 of my charts took a losing entry when I had walked away. So trying to figure out if I have other charts to play for my strategy. How are you, Amma? Did you attempt the opening trade today? Let's see here. So I found one chart. All right, we've got a second chart. These are the bigger tick charts. Well, I've really only got 2 charts. Kind of a bummer to start off the day and not have that opening trade, but did see that Alpine lost on it on a bunch of accounts. So I'm just going to go over my take on it and why I stayed out of it in a minute. Because there was like one kind of really key thing that was different today than the last 3 days, or different than Monday and Friday. And it's probably, well, it kept me out of the trade. I'm not sure if I decided to take the trade. I think I would have ended up getting triggered in on the long side after the short side played out. It says it was tricky. Yeah, well, I think so. Anytime you see Alpine lose on it, you gotta figure it was tricky. I guess you don't watch Alpine anymore, so you maybe don't realize he lost this morning on the opening trade. Well, he lost on like half his accounts basically. I'm just still looking to see if I have any charts. I might do something a little bit different today. Alma says, yeah, don't watch him anymore. Right. I remember you said that. All right, so I'm really not seeing. I've got two charts. I can either play those or I can try something a little bit different today and just trade one of my evaluations and see how I do, kind of trading a little bit of a freestyle. Which might not be a bad idea. Alma says, I wish him well, though. Yeah. I forget, you said you had a problem in his Discord, but it wasn't directly with Alpine, right? Or was it? He seems like such a nice guy. I have a hard time believing that it would have been a direct issue with him. Because I've never seen him, like, I don't know, get into it with anybody. All right, so let's switch gears here. I've got two charts. I'm going to kind of watch them on the back burner, but I'm not sure I'm going to actually play them today. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. Alma says, not him, his Discord mod. Okay. Well, I mean, in a weird way, I'm glad to hear it wasn't directly him. I don't know, he just seems like such a nice guy to me. I have a hard time thinking that I don't know, he'd do something to make you feel the way you felt. But all right, so here's the live market. This is the 1 minute chart, and what I was looking at when I got on the chart today was, you know, something like this, right? And so you can see from my lines, you know, there's a couple things going on here. From my lines, you can see that there was already a new high of today's session made right here, because I have the green dashed line. So I know that's the high of the session without like looking at the whole chart. I also know that this yellow line is the previous day high. Okay, so that's the high of the daily bar from yesterday. And then I also know that this dashed blue line is the previous day closing price. That's the New York close. Okay, very key, because there's the session close and the New York close. I like to go by the New York close. So there's kind of like three key things going on here, right? I know where the high is, I know where the previous day's high is, and I know where the close of the New York session was yesterday. So basically, when I'm coming in here, you know, there's like a range here, right? So when I first started watching, I was hoping that it would stay in this range, but then, you know, it breaks out of the range like it's been doing in the previous few days. So, because what I would have wanted to do is play above the previous day close for a retest of the previous day high and the current session high, or I would have wanted to play, you know, below the range. So then, as the bars are forming, so now this is still before the opening. Now we got a new high, right? Then the next bar. Another new high. This is 629. So then the next bar, another new high. So this is, after this bar is where the market opened. Alma says, oh yeah, I hate when that happens before the open. Right. So this is pushing up before the open, right? So whereas I originally wanted my long to be kind of like up here, that was already gone. Then I was thinking, okay, so we're getting resistance right at the previous day high. So now I'm already not liking the highs, but I know that we're probably going to get a new high of this. So I'm thinking, okay, well, as long as I'm above here, I could play it for the new high, but then this happens, right? So now I'm like off the chart for where I want it to be for my long. So I placed it really high up. I mean, like I put it up here somewhere. And then on the short side, I was looking at it, and the thing that made sense to me was just like yesterday, because we got a new high already. And so I was thinking to like put it here, but the problem with putting it here was I was concerned about it hitting the previous day high and bouncing off of it and going the other way. I considered I could put it under this bar, but I was also just concerned about there's so much strong momentum up. I was concerned about what if it just ticks down barely and then flies up. So I didn't like the short in either one of those spots, for those reasons. I didn't want to put it any lower because then I'm still dealing with the previous day high and the previous day close. Both of those areas, I know it could bounce. The EMA was lining up with it at the same time. It's just, you don't want to be that short. So then I put my stop, or not my stop, but my entry under here. But then I was like, well, then I still have the same problem with the low of this range. So if I put it here, I might just be short of the enough room to the bottom here, and I can have the same problem. It could bounce and then go up. So then I was like, okay, I'll just put it under here to be safe. So I had my long up here and I had my short all the way down here, and then the market opened and it did this. And so I realized right away, okay, I'm still not in the trade. I realized, okay, the short already happened. Like the short play was definitely to be tight right under either one of these bars would have worked if you were right under them. And so when this bar closed, I decided to just cancel my order. I was like, okay, the short is already played out. It already worked. And I wasn't sure that after the short already worked that I'd want to get entered long. So I canceled. And then the long, if I left the long would have worked. So it was just kind of weird, and I stayed out. Let me take off the OCO. So that was my story. I just didn't like it. Like it was, I liked this play for the short being tight, but I didn't like it because of the situation. It wasn't like you're basically playing a breakout of one candle to the short side. I haven't done that before. So I figured no trade is better than losing trade. And I see that Alpine got a loss. Alpine's entry was all the way down here. He literally got bottom ticked into the trade. It went against him. He added a contract like in the first bar. And when it went up here, he blew accounts up here. And then the rest of his accounts survived. So like half of them got stopped out on the liquidate. And then this thing came back and he ended up getting a profit here. I saw Velocity too. I just checked in on his real quick. He won, and he basically put his entry for a short somewhere up here. I forget if it was below this bar or below this bar. So that worked. He only goes for 15 ticks. If he went for 22 ticks, he would have lost. I think it was under this bar. I think he put it here, and it went enough for 15 ticks. But 22 ticks would have lost for him. So really the only way to win for 22 ticks was under this bar, really tight. Yeah, I think V got lucky. He also loaded his contracts to 3 contracts, which in my opinion is a smart move. He should do that all the time. 5 contracts is just too big, especially on your PAs. If you want to do 5 contracts on evaluation, go for it. But on the PAs, I don't think it should be bigger than 3 in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, I didn't like the trade. Now, Alpine doesn't have all this stuff. He doesn't look at previous day close. He doesn't look at previous day high. Also, if you look where the bounce was, it was essentially right off of the top of what this range was. So there's just, I think he just, for whatever reason, he forced the trade. He had his entry a little bit higher originally and he moved it down and then he got ticked in. But he said he didn't like the short side. And so he would have been better off moving it all the way down here like I did, and then letting the long trigger. I wanted to let the long trigger, but it was just one of those things. It was like, if this had been like a stronger bounce, where it went low and then it bounced higher and gave me some kind of feeling that it was going to go up on this bar, I would have left my long. But because of the way it closed, I was like, I'll just wait for another day. Alma says I didn't drive it. Was busy driving to work. Yeah. So, it was just a tricky one. Alma says, thanks for going over it. Helps me gain experience. Yeah. I mean, it's just like one of those things. It's just weird. There's like, to me, I always think that these levels are important just in my trading in general. So the previous day close, previous day high of session. So those are always going to be support and resistance areas. Anyway, so I stayed out of the trade. So no trades for me today. And then I lost all of my charts. So I've still got to decide. But I was kind of thinking when I realized that I lost all my charts. Let's see. I guess Alpine has been like, he showed his entries after the fact on his stream today. And it looks like he showed another live recording of another opening trade he did. Alma says, you have an account on admin. Is that an old one? Yeah, this one has been on admin for a while. This is the one when I renewed it a couple weeks ago. I played the opening trade on it along with other accounts, and I put a full 10 contracts on this one. And I was going for 61 ticks. I just wanted to take one account and see if I could pass it in one trade. And it blew up on that one single trade. So I had that account for a day when it renewed. It renewed and reset. So it doesn't come back for a couple weeks still. All right. I think what I kind of want to do today is just kind of trade like freestyle, not use my typical strategy. And I want to see if I can how do I want to do this? I want to see if I can just trade kind of freestyle on an evaluation account and see how I do, basically. I've never done that before on YouTube. I'm really just kind of curious how I would do, honestly. No YOLO, just freestyle. So just not trading with my system according to like how I usually trade. I'm going to trade on the 1 minute chart and not on a tick chart. And I'm not necessarily going to take second entries, though if I like a second entry, I'll take it. But I'm thinking about just kind of like entering at will, adding contracts and scalping out if it goes against me, and just kind of like seeing how it goes. I think that's what I'm going to do, because really I've got two charts that are good to trade with for my style, for my strategy. But I don't know. I'm just feeling some sort of way. Actually, last night I was on my computer for a minute, and I just happened to turn on Ninja, and I just like quickly. I'm not gonna be able to show it because I'm on my Apex account. But yeah, last night, just in the middle of the overnight session, I did this one time, and I just wanted to see what would happen, and I entered, and the trade went against me. I added a contract, and then I ended up winning the trade. And so I kind of feel like, why don't I do that more often? So I was kind of curious to do it, to try it. And there's been like kind of a lot of times where I don't have great charts lately. And so if I'm, if I don't have charts and I don't have my system to trade at any given time, then what I'd like to be able to do is do this, but I've never done it on YouTube before. So I'm kind of feeling like I need to rip the Band-Aid off and do it a little bit to just get comfortable with it and see how it goes. So we'll see. I'm just going to do it on evaluation 39. So it's like inconsequential if I suck. Just take a look and see where we are on the daily. All right, so the daily, we reached my measured move. All right, we'll see how this goes. Not even, I know it will be hard for me to enter trades this way, especially like the first couple times. But I'm just kind of curious, like how many trades do I take? Do I even survive my first trade? And how many trades will I end up taking? How will I do? How many losses will I get? I'm just going to do it one contract at a time. Since it's basically the first time I've done it. I passed that one evaluation doing it this way. I only needed $16 though, and I got 36. I remember that last week. And I think there was one other time where I traded this way, and I got a win, but Alma says, I guess we have to, but why not do that with house money? Well, it's an evaluation. So, I mean, look, I spent $33 on the evaluation. My plan is to, lean pretty heavily on the opening trade when I like the trade. So I'm going to be passing a number of these evaluations just based on the opening trade mostly. And it'll probably carry me on hopefully my first couple PAs. So the fact that I have other evaluations in the pipeline that are already on their way, it's like it's gonna be hard for me to trade all of the evaluations anyways and pass them inside a month. So it's kind of the same difference. Worst case scenario, I blow it up and renew it and reset it for the next month, is the same thing as me not being able to trade it enough to pass it this month anyway. So that's how I look at it. Almost says I have 3 XFAs, so I'm just working on a payout. I'm not feeling very confident this week, though. Don't know why. Yeah, I honestly, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like, I don't feel particularly confident this week either. I think price action has been a little bit difficult lately. I mean, yesterday was that range day while I was on, and then it did break out to the upside afterwards, which is interesting because I feel like that's happened a few times where I was kind of saying, like, I think it's going to do something, and it does it when I'm done. So I get it. I can relate. Like, that's maybe part of the reason why I'm not trading my regular style today too. Like, I kind of just want to shake it up a little bit since I'm feeling some sort of way and do something a little bit different, you know. And it takes the pressure off because, you know, just trading the evaluation, just, it's like, there's no pressure for me because it's not going to affect anything that matters at this moment. You know, like the one evaluation is just, it's like a backup account to everything else I'm doing right now. It's funny. One of the charts I had remaining would have just gone a loss. So I'd be down to 1 chart regardless right now. All right, so I'm just waiting for a good spot. I'm still not gonna like overtrade and go crazy. I still gotta see something that I like based on market structure and things. The one thing I'm always just watching is whether we're above or below these levels, you know. So right now we're back above the previous day high, back above the previous day close. We're in between the opening price. I mean, this actually would have been a really good spot to just be shorting from the previous day close and buying from here. But I was just watching and getting a feel for what the market was doing. I'm still surprised that I just went long. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I'm still surprised that Alpine took that loss today. He's usually much tighter on that side. So I'm surprised he let his order be so wide. I was thinking long too, so good luck. Hope it works. It was good to see Velocity lowering his contracts. I've been kind of saying that for a little bit now about him, that I think he's trying to do too much with 5 contracts or more. I heard him say that he's considering just sticking with like 3 from now on. So I think it's probably a good idea. Just my opinion, but I think he'll avoid more losers that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting this. I was actually thinking about getting along above this bar, but I didn't like that it closed below the previous day high. So I just stayed out. I don't want to enter here personally because of the opening price could be some sort of resistance, but this would be my target currently. Alma says 3 might still be too much. Yeah, I mean, I think 2 is really the sweet spot. Because the thing is, when you have 2, if you need to add a contract, you're just going to 3 and there's still room. But when you have 3 that you're starting with, you're going to 4, and then that really starts dramatically affecting the drawdown if it continues to go against you. So basically I'm doing this, I'm trading outside of my system. One, because I know that the opening range trade is going to really kind of change the way I go about trading my accounts as I move forward. So, I'm going to be relying on that trade a lot to push my accounts through, like a bulk of them. And then on days where I'm just not feeling the market from my regular system, or if I run out of charts like today, like literally today, if I was still trading, I'd have no charts right now. So I would have no choice to either do this or call it a day. But also 3, it just gives me one more, if I can get comfortable trading this way, which I haven't taken a trade yet, so I'm not comfortable, obviously. But if I can get comfortable trading this way, then I always can go to a trade on the 1 minute chart in between when I'm trading my usual system. So I just want to be kind of as versatile as I can with my trading and give myself the best option to get, to be able to get the most volume of trades possible. But I do everything in a measured way. So it's not going to be just like entering, with a hope and a dream and not having a reason behind my trades. Alma says I like 2 also. Yeah. So that's just kind of why I'm doing this today. And I may, it may take a few days of me trying to trade this way. Because, depending on market conditions, the market's different every day. So, like I might end up looking at today and not being comfortable with trading it. It might be no different than days where I don't get a trade with my usual system. And I might just need a different day, that looks different. So it just depends. But I want to be as versatile a trader as I can be, as dynamic as possible, and not only just rely on one thing to be able to get trades in. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. If we weren't right at the opening price right now, I would take a long right now. But since we're right at it, I'm chilling. I respect these levels. You could see it played resistance here. It went right through it on both sides on this side, but it doesn't mean it won't play resistance again. And you can see there's a reaction to it. So even if it does end up going through, like there's a reason why it was pushing down at that point, because other people are probably playing that level too. Yeah, it seems to me that some people are trying to play that level. There was a little bit of a reaction, but the measured move is the destination. Or beyond. Amma says I need to mark the open. Oh, Amma says I make a mistake then. I need to mark the open. I mean, it's just something that I've observed. I don't really ever see anyone else talk about it. You know, I don't see anyone else that does that, but I always like to be aware of it. Because if I get like a setup that I really like off of it, like I for sure will trade it. It's a good level, but I don't want you to, I hope I don't ever affect you in terms of like, if you're in a trade, like I hope nothing I say ever affects you. Cause I have no idea what's going to happen. Right. I wish I was that good. And maybe I will be one day, but the market can do anything. When I'm talking, I'm just kind of like talking about my ideas, what I'm kind of thinking. But I don't want to be an influence to make you change what you're doing. When you said you went long, I actually liked the long. I was looking for a spot to get in for the long at the time, after, you know, before and after you said that. But I do suggest, I mean, you know, if you do put the open on your chart, just observe it over time and see if it comes into play for how, you know, does it ever block a trade going where you want it to go, or does it ever help, you know, support it, like a bounce off of it, and just observe it and see if you can use it to your advantage. That's what I would suggest. Amma says, no worries, I'm about to win. Good. I mean, look, now we're on my chart, we're above the opening price, so I don't think it's going to play the resistance that it felt like it was trying to down here. So yeah, I think you're good. I wish I took advantage. Nice trade. Just covered the long. Nice. Congrats. That was a nice trade. I definitely wanted to get in. Like this is where I was hoping that, you know, here's an example where I let a level keep me out of a trade because I didn't like that it closed below the previous day high, the yellow line. So I stayed out of it. I was hoping that this candle was going to close like right here, and then I was going to try to enter. So we got more than the measured move. So, I mean, it's very much looking like a range right now for the day. Just like yesterday so far. Wouldn't be surprised to at least retest the high. Alma says, I need to change my Pampers. I mean, that one worked basically in your favor the whole time, except for this little teeny pullback here. Alma says it was a bad entry. My trade was in drawdown most of the time. Oh, really? When did you get in? Did you get in like at the high over here? Seems like it's just going to be a really big range today. $10.39. Yeah, so you got in somewhere around here. Yeah, so you had 2 pullbacks in your trade. I liked it though. I kind of want to play a short, but I just feel like it's going to retest the very high before it might go down. So I'm just staying patient. But this is like obviously a level of resistance. I think it can spike up and then maybe it'll come down, or maybe it keeps going, but expecting it to at least touch up here. Alma says, do you have your chart set up to New York time? I do, but sometimes I get mixed up with local time. No, my chart is, all right, so here's that spike retested high. My chart is on my Pacific Standard Time, so it's 3 hours behind New York. But, yeah, the math is easy because I know it's just 3 hours. So 6:30 a.m. for me is the New York Open, which is 9:30. All right, so now that we got the new high, be interesting to see what happens here. Kind of like a failed breakout. Or will it be a failed breakout? Maybe it'll just be a legit breakout. It's kind of one of those situations where you can almost play it like the open, like put your order in above and below, and whichever one triggers is. Maybe I'll try that someday in a situation like that. Wow. No, I never said anything about being aggressive. Alma says, I thought you were being aggressive. No, I didn't say I was going to be aggressive. I'm just saying that I'm going to trade outside of my system if I find a spot that I want to trade. But it has nothing to do with being aggressive. It just has to do with a different style of trading. Like I said, I'm still gonna observe the way I trade. So I'm still very measured. I take trades for specific reasons in terms of structure and price action. And yeah, almost says, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna just like. The thing I said is I'm not going to just enter with a hope and a dream with no reason to get into a trade. So if I see something I like, I'll take it. And if I don't see anything, then I'm not going to take a trade. But it has nothing to do with being more aggressive. It just has to do with having, more ways, more styles of trading. And I can trade the way I want to trade off stream easily, like in playback or, if I wasn't on stream, like I'd have no problem. So today is just an attempt to like find a place I want to enter a trade and take the trade, and doing it on stream to kind of like get over, it's one thing when I'm trading my black and white system and I'm just objectively entering trades. It's real easy to enter trades, but when it's all purely subjective, it's a lot easier, or it's a lot harder, I should say, to commit to a trade live on stream. So it's not about being more aggressive. It's just about, like I said, having another way to trade. Alma says, for me, it was a ICT fair value gap long unicorn setup with turtle soup. ICT is a little complicated. Sorry. Yeah, he has all of his fun terms. But all that ICT did was repackage the cup, the cup and handle pattern, and put a different name on it. So here's the cup and here's the handle, and then it goes. So whatever the fair value gap, unicorn, turtle soup, the whole thing, it's a cup and handle, just repackaged. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to hit the mic there. Just trying to figure out if I was going to measure it from the bottom. Like, where would I measure to? You have to measure all the way up here. So almost 18,270-ish. the daily. I mean, we're at the measure move and beyond there. We get to the midline next, I guess. At this point, I really don't have much of a read on the market, other than presuming we're getting to up here. Amma said, well, that was the ICT trade of the day. It might be the only one for today. So I'll try buying at this level, at the bottom of this perceived range, and see what happens if it comes back down. I think we need to get a new high of this. So I'm hoping it'll come down here and then bounce one more time. Unless it does it first. All right, so it's doing the thing beforehand. Still got the measured move above. So that range still held. The thing for me is I like buying the bottom when it didn't reach the high yet to retest the high, but now that's already retested it, I feel less sure about buying the bottom of it. I'm definitely not feeling the short. I mean, even though I've got the new high, there's like a certain degree that makes sense that, maybe we'll go to the bottom here at least, but I don't want to counter trend. It's been a really strong move up. Got a measured move higher still. So I don't want to play the top for short. Seems like it's just going to make this final push to get up here. All right, I'm just going to take a minute break, go say hi to my daughter who's up eating breakfast, and I'll be back. All right, if anyone's still here, my daughter just wanted me to hang with her while she was eating breakfast, so that's where I was. But man, look at just tight range all the way up here this whole time. So move that up a little bit. So my daughter's just gonna head to school in a second, so I'm gonna say bye to her. But otherwise, that's the range I'm seeing. So just not really a lot of opportunities for me to trade, even though I'm trying to trade outside my system. You know, once it got up here, it was kind of like a wait and see area. Still didn't reach the measured move. It's kind of funny how today's working out, that I kind of had a feeling that my charts weren't going to stay very good for very long for my regular system. So I'd already switched over to the 1 minute chart, thinking that, well, at least maybe I'll be able to get a trade on that. And then just the nature of the market today, I wasn't able to find myself into an entry at Accts. And then in this range for quite some time now. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to go short because I'm still thinking we're going to hit this. Came up just shy over here. Also, the fact that we broke out to the downside makes me think we're going to break out to the upside. Probably get to that measured move. But I don't want to bet against the resistance, so I'm not going to do that. Let me say bye to my daughter, and I'll be right back. All right, so just an area where I don't want to be short or long. All right, now I'm really back. So not very successful getting a trade so far. It's almost 9 o'clock, but the thing is I'm not trading my system, so I can just trade until whenever I want to stop. So, but yeah, I think yesterday and today are just a little bit tricky, these ranges. Yeah, I was looking for the long ride around here. This candle threw me off. If this candle had just closed a little bit higher above the yellow line, I would have entered a long right there. And then I don't know how long I would have stayed in. I probably would have just exited at the opening price. So I would have missed all that move, but I would have got that move. So something around 8-ish points maybe possible. But woulda, coulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. And so the resistance is continuing to hold. But I don't want to play buying the bottom here when it's already broken out once. So the thing that's interesting is, again, it came up short of the measured move. So it tried once, twice, 3 times. A lot of times when I see it try 3 times and not get there, that means the beginning of the other direction. But where are we on the daily? And it's hard to say what the market's going to do from this point. Sometimes I have like a read on the market where I just have like, there's times where I just have an intuition and I can, I feel like I could trade this way. But today, the one spot I liked, I couldn't get in, and then it's just been this range where if you just sell the highs, it continues to work, but just seems like it's not going to let the shorts bring it all the way back down again. I'm just saying down to this bottom. Like I think we're going higher, but I don't want to enter long into the resistance. So it's just one of those days. For me, I'd rather have a flat day than a red day. So even on an evaluation. Just waiting for an opportunity where I see something where I have an idea of what the market's trying to do. I just don't feel like I have any idea right now. I'm just trying to form a reason to think something's going to happen. The market's definitely been a little bit more tricky for me because yesterday I only got the opening trade. And Friday I skipped the opening trade. What happened Friday? Did I get a win? I think I got one win from the regular strategy. I don't even remember. Not a lot of trades lately for me. There was that 1 week a couple weeks ago where I was 17-0, and then I was 6-0. And last week I was 7-3. So I don't know. It's slow beginning of the week, but hopefully, if I don't get anything today, it'll pick up for me tomorrow through the end of the week. I still have the instinct that it's going higher to get to the measured move right there. But it keeps failing at the resistance, so. But that's what I think is going to happen, and so I'm not going to go long because of the resistance, but I'm also not going to go short, so, yeah. Because it continues to fake out the longs on the top here. Higher lows continuously. They're rejecting again. I mean, honestly, it's so weird. Like the way this is moving, I almost feel like I'm watching ES. This is like how ES moves. It's bizarre. I almost had to do a double take and make sure I'm not trading ES, but this is NQ, but it is moving like ES, which I feel like I've only seen it move like ES one or two other times in the 5 months I've been watching NQ now. I swear this is going to trap the shorts and then make it get to that measured move. Again, I don't want to take the chance though, because how many times has it peaked up and then come back and failed? Maybe this will be the actual time where it goes. Tempted to want to put it here. Tempted, but this is what I'm worried about. It's just like every time it hits it, it tries to pull back. The measure move is like right there. It's not a lot of room. All right, so I had the right idea, maybe. I would have tried to get out the measured move. See if it gets up there. Thing is, it's already retested the high, so it doesn't have to get all the way up there. So to me, how I see this is it doesn't have to reach the measured move because we already get a retest of the high. So when the market has just been going up, I don't know. It's hard to want to pile into a short right now. Just not feeling it. Not feeling it. I think the first range became a tighter range. Anybody got a read on this market other than just we're just going to keep bouncing in a range, a tight range? I really don't know what to think. I feel like the upside is played out, except there's that one thing of the measured move still hanging out up there. But I feel like it doesn't need to go up here again. But is it really going to go down? I don't know. Obviously, there's another gap today. Actually, there's no gap. The gap was filled earlier on. Forgot about that. So, no gap. No particular reason to go down. No particular reason to go up. Maybe that's why we're just chopping. I always find it, I think yesterday was the same way. I always find it difficult when there's a big push up and then it goes into a range. It's really hard for me to play that range after the market, you know, basically the market was flat in the overnight. It was definitely in this range, right? And you get this breakout. And now we've got basically two legs up. But when you got a big, strong push up and then it goes into a range like this, I just have a really hard time playing a range in that way. If it's a range where it's just like the whole day's like that, where if like the whole day was just like this inside the range, I find that easier to trade. But after a big push up, I know that most of the time it'll range and then it'll continue going up again. So it keeps me out of the shorts. So I can never play the shorts. But then the longs, were very uneven, like where the bottom is. The bottom was here, bottom was a little bit higher, then it went lower, and then it was here. So it's like, where do you buy, And every time it makes a new high, it makes me think like, okay, then we might be done to the top. So then I don't want to buy anymore. It sells off, it fools the shorts in, and then look, it's going to go higher again. So it's just, I find it really tricky. So it's hard to sit here and watch it and not want to get trades, but at the same time, I understand why I'm not getting trades. So what can you do? Yeah, I just put Alpine on in my ear and I'm hearing him talk about the aftermath of losing the opening trade. And it just reinforces the idea of, not taking a trade if you're not confident in what the market's doing. Whether it's the open trade or just any trade. I'd rather sit here with no trade than take a bad trade. All right, so even if I was trying to buy the bottoms, I've been lower than where it's going now. Now it's like, I just really, don't have a read here. Seems like the bulls are just not going to let the bears have it, right? So buying the bottoms, if you find the bottom fast enough, I was thinking the bottom was going to be down here, but it turns out the bottom is here. But I still don't want to take shorts. So. I've still been watching my tick charts, even though I'm not trading off of them. I mean, this is like, look at this. Yeah. And just up and down, tight range. But it's got the feel of like a bull flag, like it's going to go higher. So if I was measuring on this chart, it's basically the same as I have on the other chart. We're just shy of it. So usually when you have a strong move up and a strong day up and it then goes into a range, usually it will continue up eventually, like yesterday. It's kind of like yesterday all over again in a way. But finding entries is challenging because it just feels like the upside could be played out with this retest here. But I also don't trust shorts. So So it's 12:30 Eastern now, which is usually the time I end my day. I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer and just see if there's something that was set up that I like. If I don't get another trade, if I don't get any trade, then that's all right too. It's tempting to want to like buy the bottom again. Yeah, every time it's coming to the bottom, it works. Even here where it went through, it would come back. But we've also seen those days where, the market has a big move up and it consolidates, and then when it can't go higher, it just crashes hard, especially on NASDAQ. So do I want to potentially do something here? It feels like it wants to push lower. Would have worked, maybe. I don't know. See, here's an example of by the time you decide to do it, this is what's going to happen. And I observe a lot of times it falls out, like it's tested 1, 2, 3 times here. Like after the third time, the fourth time might be the one where it doesn't hold anymore. Still trying to bring it back. So it bounce off the almost. Look at that. I still don't trust it. Wow. Yeah. Trapping in the longs right there. But then I still have this level here. So I don't want to short down here. So maybe now that we're breaking out of this, maybe there'll be, let's see what happens at this level. So this is the thing, right? So I said once it retested the high from over here, you know, that could be it to the upside, even though it was still just a little shy of the measured move. Yeah, so that's why I wasn't trusting buying the longs here. It's just, it's hard to judge it. But at least I had the right idea to not trust longs. I even remember I was considering buying all the way up here on this breakout from here. And I decided not to because I was like, okay, once it touches that, it could be over. So at least I'm not doing anything stupid, I guess. So far. What level is this bouncing from? We'll still bring it back. Does anybody know how to trade this market? Is anyone crushing it today? Still got the measured move all the way up here. I mean, it just seems so random that this is where it turned around. Yeah, that next level I was looking for was here, like just shy of it. Falling asleep watching this market. I thought I would get an opportunity I liked, or a few opportunities I liked trading freestyle today, but it's just not my kind of market. I wish I just stayed in bed and slept all day or all morning. Today was a real struggle to get up. And then see the opening trade not set up the way I liked it, skip that. It's just, I had a feeling about today as soon as that happened. Oh, wow. Look at that. They just got their limit orders. They're just selling. They're just selling and buying on the limits. Look at this. How come I didn't put my sell right there? guess that would have been smart to put your sell right there. Boom. Look at the tick. This is my tick chart. I mean, look at this. You think I could have played my normal strategy with this going on? There's not a chance. It's just one of those days. So where would you buy now? You buy here? You buy here? Or do you not buy because you think one leg, two legs? I wonder how many people are out there like me that just like don't trust any trade right now. I wonder how many people are just entering trades all over the place and getting chopped up. And now I wonder how many people are actually trading this really well and doing great. Because just the levels are all over the place. Like I didn't trust the sells, but look how the sells are actually very consistent on the top. Look at that. Every time you're up here, if you sold, you could make money. But the buys are all over the place. First they were up here, then they're down here, then they're up here, down here. Just very uneven on the buys. The buys is where I'd be more comfortable buying if I had a solid level to buy from. What's the daily looking like now? This daily chart, I mean, beyond the measured move, but the bulls just want to bring it all the way back. right through this level. Oh wow, look at that. Do I want to do this? Uh-oh. See if I got caught. I thought that was going to go. All right, there's one. I don't like that's rejecting at this level. And just get out. Little win. Maybe it's going all the way back up, but I didn't like that. This level of support was playing resistance right there. So hey, I got a win. Maybe I should have stuck in it. Yeah. It's big picture, you know, you're at the bottom. Go back to the top. But hit the measured move. That's why I like this trade. Hit the measured move. And had a nice strong bounce. Look at that. I'll take my small win. Take my small win. Kind of wish I stayed in it to like see what this bar is going to do, but I just didn't want to see a rejection from this level because I thought if this went under here, there was a chance maybe we go for a bigger move down. So just played it safe. Could have probably what I should have done is just put my stop down here and then let it go where it was going to go, but. Oh, I forgot to change the 1-0 for the day. I was 0-0 this whole time. All right, well now I'm 1-0. Now I'm 2-0 for the week. 209 overall. All right, so could have got more. But hey, at least I got a trade. Sitting here this whole time thinking I'm not even going to get a trade after all this. Even though this is like a freestyle trade, I mean, the concept of second entries is still what I played here. So it was a first entry, second entry. So, you know, old habits die hard. But I saw the pattern, saw it at the bottom of this potential bigger range. And I didn't like that it closed below this level, but I figured this was good enough that we'd get a bounce. It pulled against me at first. And so I added another one because this looked like it was going to be a higher low from the second entry. So I wanted to get in. Didn't even wait for it to trigger, just got in. And then was able to scalp out twice. So I feel like I can kind of like trade like this if I wanted to in general. But my normal system is like having training wheels on the bicycle when you're learning how to ride a bike. It's just, I don't know, it's more comfortable in a way. Also because with that strategy, I have like a set take profit. And when I'm doing this, I don't really have a set take profit. I'm just looking for levels to put it at. So really the level I was going to have it at originally was here. So I'm going to stick with what I normally do though. So I played an evaluation. I got a win. I'll move on to a different evaluation. So I'm going to turn my display off and just switch accounts so I don't show my name on my live account. So I'll go to 38 next since that's the account that only has 1 day on it. I mean, days don't matter on evaluations anyway, right? But these two accounts are kind of similar now, and this one's behind, so I'll trade that one next. All right, so a little bit of a showing that I can trade without my system. So now that we're here, I mean, I'd kind of be expecting one leg, two legs back up. But for all I know, this could be a new resistance. Something like this. Yeah, I mean, this move down really trapped shorts. You know, this thing was pushing, shorts were starting to pile in, trapped them, trapped some more shorts here, and then took over. I kind of liked the long here, but I just didn't want, I didn't like entering here thinking that this could be the top again. And you could see this played resistance for now, so it might ultimately break through and do the second leg, but I just want to trade, but two, so I don't want to enter right away, just getting ahead of myself. But this is a real level. You can see it was rejecting there. It might break through and still get this leg. It's like I'm doing this in baby steps. So even if I only get this one trade on, stupid evaluation, it's baby steps for me to be able to trade with without like being locked into my system. So I did a sim trade last night. It looked almost exactly the same as this actually, and I won it the same way. I did one ad like I did on this trade, and so it's like last night I did one just to see in a slow overnight session, and it worked. Did it here and it worked. I've done it a couple other times and it's worked. So I think I can do it. I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to go overboard with that. Just like I don't want to go overboard with anything I do. The same way I can, I'm able to skip the opening trade today. And I think it's like the third or fourth time I've skipped the opening trade in the few weeks I've been trading it. So the resistance I was concerned about definitely played a role, but it'll probably push through and make the second leg, I'm guessing. And so it seems like it's going to go. And this is the kind of thing that I want to work on is if I'm calling out a measured move, like to be able to trust it, trust my read and get into the trade. But even though it's an evaluation, I'm still trying to trade it the way I trade. I'm not a high risk trader. In terms of and when I say I'm not a high risk trader, in terms of aggressive entries, I'm willing to risk the entire account though. And so again, this resistance, the whole reason why I didn't want to take another trade, is still showing that it's a real thing. All right. So just this move already makes me happy that I'm sticking to my read and not getting overexcited and taking another trade just because I think, oh, it's gonna be a second leg and I gotta jump in, and it goes on to work. I had so much patience to take this trade, and when it was going against me, it felt like, oh man, maybe I made a mistake. But I liked my ad, and I liked my patience to just wait through this whole morning and not take any trades because I didn't have like a read. And for me, it was like seeing a leg down and a perfect tag off of it and a strong reaction up gave me the confidence to take the trade. And that's just what I'm trying to look for, those kinds of opportunities where I see objective reasons to like a trade, even though I'm not trading my regular system. And I'm hoping that I can practice kind of trading freestyle like this a little bit more often and on stream too, so that I'm comfortable doing it on stream. To the point that hopefully I'll get to a point where I'm comfortable to do it on my PA accounts. Because right now, I would not trade the 1 minute chart on my PA accounts other than the opening trade. Still watching this level. I think I'll put in another 10 minutes and then call it a day. I'll stop at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. So again, still buyers right down here. This level seems like it doesn't matter anymore. So again, just a limit buy right there, right on the support. Could have scalped out. Look at that, right to the top of the big range. Guess this did so play a role. All right, so now it's going to finally go. That's what I think. Yeah, this resistance still playing a role here. And triple test of this. Right, here's that push. Like these are the situations I just want to jump on, but I don't trust it. I don't know how to trade that way. Just chase it. There it goes. Maybe one day, maybe I'll develop that skill where I can just, when I have a read like this, I've got a destination, just chase it and jump on, but I don't know. I don't feel like my skills are good enough to really do that, honestly. Well, I feel like I read the market pretty well these days. when I can read it, when I have reasons like this, you know, when I have the reason like this to take this trade, or when I have a reason like this to expect to go up here, I think I'm pretty good. I just don't trust myself enough to like jump into trades. So that's the thing. If I could get to the point where I can trust myself to try these sorts of things, you know, maybe I'd do all right. You know, I would just have put my target here, be in front of it. So things I gotta develop and try. And that's why I'm doing everything on YouTube, just to document what I'm doing and just hoping to be able to grow as a trader over time. So seems like I would have hit my target if I had jumped in and just got in around here and got out right around there. So I imagine on day like, if today had been a normal day with the open trade where I was able to take the open trade, you know, I'd have 2 trades today, which I'd be happy with. You know, I'm a little bit bummed that I wasn't able to take that open trade today, but it just didn't fit. Here's where it is. Yeah, this was the bar before the open. It just didn't fit what I want to see when I take that trade. I gotta see this happen a lot more often before I'll take it like this. I mean, it's exactly like my trade yesterday, honestly. There was just a couple other parameters that made me not want to take it this time, whereas yesterday I was like excited to get in short below the candle like that. And then Friday was exactly the same way too. So I don't know, it's kind of strange. 3 days in a row, the opening trade really played out almost exactly the same. But if you're too wide like Alpine, you get caught. Velocity got the win on it. He was tight, but he barely won, and he goes for 15 ticks. So if it was someone going for 22 ticks and going for the same entry that he had, you would have lost. Or actually, depending on how many contracts you had. If you were low contracts, you could have stayed in the trade and ended up getting out for a win. But he just barely scalped out. All right, so I reached the destination here. Not surprised. I mean, it's a big range with tighter ranges within it. You know, I mean, there was even one over here. Yeah, this was kind of a range over here, and then it moved up. It was a range up here, And then we ended up in this kind of range down here. But it's all in this big range. And I still wouldn't feel comfortable taking the short off the top. That's been what I've been battling all day and not feeling comfortable taking the short off the top because there's so many opportunities up there. This one looks like it'll work, at least to the bottom of here, maybe. Let's see. This is a second entry. I actually think it might fail. And then finally go up and get this bigger measured move. Another retest of the high. Maybe. Now it looks like the short's going to work. Okay. So depending on where your target is, short could be good. It's actually, in hindsight, it looks really easy. Just short the tops and buy the lows, and if you can figure out where the next low is going to be. So if you bought this low and you went all the way down here, you probably got your stop. You probably stopped out if you use stops. If you don't use stops, you would have survived. So it would have worked for a reasonable scalp. But for anyone that's trying to swing trade it to the bottom, I don't know. I think it might be going up. You know, there's a lot of people loading up on sell, limit sells right here. Is it going to make that push now? It's already stopping out shorts that put their stops here. And here it goes. So my reads are good. I just gotta find a way to get into trades. I'd be really shocked if this rejected again. I really think it's going up. There it goes. Retest of the high. Again. Ooh, hit that mute button just in time. It's a loud sneeze. All right, so I'm basically just at this point waiting to see what happens if it can get all the way up there finally. Just shy. That's kind of what I've been expecting all day. Just shy of it, but I mean, that's basically getting there. All right. So I got my one trade in, did it without my training wheels, my regular system. And so it's a baby step in the right direction for me in terms of being able to trade my, kind of want to have like three facets of my game, which is the opening trade, which I'll copy trade on multiple accounts when I like the trade. Then there's going to be my normal scalping system, which when I have charts, I want to be able to play them. And then this where I can play on the 1 minute chart and kind of just be a little bit more loose about it, add contracts, when I need to, and kind of make things happen. So definitely going to be a little bit more hesitant with this kind of trading on the 1 minute chart until I get more comfortable with the 1 minute chart. Look at this. So it made that push for the measured move, and now it's selling off. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. I've already gone an hour later than I typically like to. So no orb trade today. 1-0. It said 1-0 all day. I didn't realize it. It should have been 0 for most of the day, and then I caught this one trade towards the end here. And let's see, 2-0 for the week, and 209 wins and 48 losses overall on my Apex accounts for 2024. So yeah, just the one trade on the evaluation. And look, I mean, it was almost like an opening trade amount on that account. So it's all good. Or it's kind of like my normal scalp anyway. So tomorrow, hopefully I'll get the opening trade. I'll be able, what I was going to do was trade it on 2 accounts, probably 8 and 9. I'll do next on the opening trade. That's what I was going to do today. And then I'll probably just do it on 38 as well tomorrow on the evaluation. That way, if anything goes wrong, I still got 2 PAs and 3 evaluations. In case I run into what Alpine ran into today. So, all right, that's going to be it. Don't forget the 80% discount is going on until the end of the month, May 31. Use this code or any other, and I appreciate it when you do use the code. There's been a few of you out there, so thank you for that. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. I imagine anyone that's here still at this point probably already has, but yep, appreciate all the comments today from earlier on. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. All right, hope you had a good trading day and good start to the weekend. Be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.